Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Shadowhunters, episode 113, titled Morning Star, which premiered Tuesday, April 5th, 2016 on Freeform, and this is the Season 1 finale, guys. So sorry for the delay. I finally was able to watch the episode yesterday, Sunday, April 10th, so I'm recording now. So let's get started right into it, 10-minute clock. So something new that we learned in this episode. Basically, there's two missions happening in this episode. One, find Valentine, and two, find the Book of the White. So for the first mission regarding Valentine, we see Hodge's betrayal being discovered when Lydia is found unconscious by Alec and Magnus. While the team is trying to figure out where Hodge is and the fact that he stole the Mortal Cup, Hodge is giving that Mortal Cup to Valentine as agreed. Valentine lifts the punishment rune off of Hodge so that he can be free again, and in exchange the Mortal Cup. Hodge believed, though, that he would be welcomed back into Valentine's ranks, but that's not the case. He doesn't want a betraying snake like Hodge under his ranks. So there's that. And we also see Valentine starting to create his new Shadowhunter army. There's that. So eventually we get Jace, Alec, and Luke finding Hodge. Jace gets violent with Hodge to the point that he actually cuts his hand off. And Hodge truly states that with Jace's behavior, he really is Valentine's son and all that. But eventually, Hodge is taken back to the Institute as a prisoner to be taken to Idris. So there's that for Hodge. Valentine will be back in the second mission, which is to find the Book of the White. So we see Clary, Simon, and Izzy going to Raphael to get permission from him to talk to Camille. He doesn't grant it because he deems that she's just going to be more of a dangerous hazard if she's let free, with the threat of Valentine looming over them. So while Izzy is distracting Raphael, Simon sneaks Clary into, I guess, where they're holding Camille prisoner. And because of this, Raphael declares Simon as a traitor when they're caught, and the vampire alliance with the Shadowhunters is broken. So that's an issue in itself. So they break Camille out, and she only agrees to help them find the Book of the White if Simon signs a document stating that he asked her to be turned into a vampire, therefore absolving her of the accusation that she turned a human unwillingly. Clary is furious by this, but Simon agrees because he realized that his grudge against Camille doesn't matter. Waking up Jocelyn is what matters, because Jocelyn is going to help them take down Valentine, who wants to take down the world. So eventually Camille takes him back to her place where the Book of the White is, as agreed. Simon signs the document, only for them to find out that Camille has no idea where inside her place the book is, because Dot is the one who hid it there. So thankfully, Clary manages to recognize an old cookbook that Jocelyn used to use, and inside is a broken off piece of the bookmark they used to track the book to Camille. So once the bookmark is connected, the Book of the White is revealed within the cookbook, and all is fine and dandy. She has a way to wake up Jocelyn. Unfortunately, Valentine intervenes at the location to get Clary, basically, but Chase intervenes and offers himself up to Valentine to protect his friends. Valentine agrees, and he takes Chase with him, much to Clary's displeasure. So with Alec in the wind with Valentine, we see everyone back at the Institute, and they are getting Magnus to wake up Jocelyn. So you see a little brief reunion between mother and daughter and with Luke, and that's how it ends for them. So she's awake, mission fulfilled. That's been happening the last 13 episodes when it comes to Clary and Jocelyn, so that's been great. Valentine overall, now that he has the Mortal Cup, he is creating his own army. He has enough that could fill the top portion of a freighter ship, I think it was. He has a lot of them. So he has that. He has control over the demons, and he has Jace. So, yeah, that's about it. So, what was the most shocking moment of the episode? The fact that Jace was so violently aggressive against Hodge. When he cut off his hand, that completely threw me. It's like, whoa, you had enough rage in you to do that to someone you've once declared as family. That's like pretty intense. That really surprised me for sure. So top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be Alec and Simon comforting Clary after Chase walks away with Valentine. What I really like the fact is that both of these guys are comforting in different ways. Alex specifically is one that I like because of the fact that he's come so far with Clary. Because at the very beginning of the episode, beginning of the season, he did not like Clary. He didn't like the fact that she was entering his world. But in this episode, he allowed her to take support from him. He allowed her to break down in his arms after Jace went through the portal. And I really like that. He could have easily just pushed her off or handed her off to Simon, but no, he provided that comfort for her that she needed in that moment, and I really like that. Simon, on the other hand, I really like his words towards Clary and how he was reassuring her that they will get Chase. He's strong enough to handle Valentine or to hold him off for however long he needs to until they get to him. So his words to Clary are what I really liked, and the fact that it truly shows that despite him being a vampire, he's still her best friend. He's not letting his vampire issues come into play. Though it was a little weird that it seems now all of a sudden he seems to have a handle on his new vampire instincts. So, because I'm pretty sure not a lot of time has really passed since he turned. So that was the only little off thing. But I really like his words and that he was there for Clary and stuff like that. So that was great. Next favorite moment has to be Alex's changed attitude towards downworlders in general. The very beginning of the season, we see him looking down on downworlders. He doesn't like the extent of Izzy's relationship with the Seelies. He doesn't like the interaction with the Warlocks, but his introduction to Magnus changed that. He didn't like werewolves, but his introduction with Luke changed that. And it's seen a lot in this episode in regards to Alex's relationship with Magnus, as well as Alex's working relationship with Luke, which I really liked. He seemed more comfortable with the both of them. There's nothing against them because they're downworlders, unlike his parents. So I definitely liked how that scene in particular in this episode, where it's shown him being open and free to both Magnus and Luke in regards to their situations. It's a lot better than if we got, like, pilot version Alec having to deal with both Magnus and Luke in that situation. I don't know. What I like is the progression of it, so that's my favorite part, too. Also, another favorite moment for me has to be the reunion between Clary, Luke, and Jocelyn. What I really like is Luke catching Jocelyn as she's waking up, and then their hug between each other. We haven't seen a lot of them together, except in the pilot and what we saw of their flashback selves. So it'll be interesting to see how they react or how they interact with each other without any secrets being hidden from Clary. And Clary's reaction to getting her mom back was pretty great too. Wondering how long it's actually been for her since her mom was put in a magic coma. So that's something I will hopefully learn later on. So top 3 peeve moments. I mentioned a little one about Simon. I just thought of that as I'm recording. So I would have thought we'd see more of a vampire struggle with him, or at least some lingering piece of it. But it's in this episode, it could be, aside from him being at Hotel Dumore, it could be very easy to forget that he's a vampire. I'm just saying. So it's just seeing that little struggle or him making reference to it at some point instead of to that struggle, not the fact that he's a vampire. I think that's the only time you're actually reminded of the fact that he's one in this case. I don't know. I really like the episodes where, like, after he just turned and you see that struggle and he's trying to figure out what it means to be a vampire, how to deal with being a vampire. I like that. It's realistic. The way that Simon's dealing with being a vampire now, it would make sense to me if each episode takes over a week. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's only like the next day or the next few days between episodes for the characters. So for us, it might seem like it's been 5 weeks since Simon turned, but for Simon itself, it might not have been 5 weeks for him as a vampire. Like, does that make sense? I hope so. But moving on to the actual peeve moment I'd taken note of, it was Mars Lightwood, her attitude towards Alec, especially with her stating why she hates Magnus. And she hates Magnus because of the reputation behind Magnus Bane, not because of the fact that he's a guy. So it's a good thing, the fact that we got confirmation that she doesn't like Alec being with Magnus because he's a guy, but he doesn't like the fact that he's Magnus Bane and that he's a downworlder. That's the issue in itself. So I don't know which is worse, but knowing that he's not hated for that part of who he is, more so has to deal with the guy he's interested that they don't like. So yeah, there's that. It was just very harsh, and after everything Magnus has done for them, it seems unwarranted, I guess you can say. I don't know. Next peeve moment has to be Valentine having the Mortal Cup and also having Jace. I don't remember if that ever happened at this point in the book, at the end of the City of Bones. I can't remember, it's been a while, but let me know if it has or if it does match up. I'd be curious to know about that. So moving on, what moment will I remember most as I look back on this episode? Clary getting her mom back and yet losing Jace. That's definitely going to be a big one too. Random questions very quickly. First one, how do you think Jocelyn will take the news about what's been happening lately once she's been caught up with everything? Do you think she'll have a plan on what to do? Do you think they'll try to take things slow and try to process everything? What do you think how she's going to handle things? How do we going to see Jocelyn the Shadowhunter in play here? Next question, will Alec let Camille... What Camille did affect what he's starting with Magnus? I hope not, because she's a manipulative little firecracker, but I hope that Alec doesn't let whatever she does sway however he's feeling with Magnus. Next question, with Raphael dubbing Simon as a traitor, does that mean that Simon has a target on his back? I hope not. It'd suck for him, but it seems like he's not his advisor anymore, that's for sure. Next question, has Jace really lost himself in the darkness that is Valentine, all because he told him that they were related? I hope not. I don't get why Jace is solely taking Valentine's word for it. I swear you need a DNA test, but for something like that. But it's like, it's so easy to accept the darkness in you because you find out that you are from darkness himself. But then what about Clary? What about Clary? Clary's also just from darkness too, since Valentine is her father, and yet she's not letting that darkness defy her. She's actually fighting it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Also, another question that just came up when I was doing the what did we learn thing, but for Valentine, why exactly does he need an army of Shadowhunters? I mean, if he has the Mortal Cup, he can control the demons, and Shadowhunters are usually needed to fight the demons. So if he can control the demons, why do you need an army to defeat the enemy if you control the enemy? I mean, it doesn't really make sense unless he plans to use the army to put rebelling Shadowhunters in their place. Then that makes sense, but yeah. So I was just wondering, is that the reason why he needs the army, or is it just because he wants more power against the demons when he already controls them? So there's that issue. So moving on to predictions, there's not really any predictions considering this episode was the season finale. But season 2, I saw an article that states that it's going to have 20 episodes instead of 13. So that's more action-packed stuff, which I can't wait for. And apparently season 2 will return to Freeform in 2017. So we almost have to wait a year, which is unfortunate. But that means we're definitely going to run longer into the new year when the new season comes, because they're 20 episodes, so that'll be pretty cool. But overall predictions based off where this episode ended, it looks like Jace is going to go down a very dark path while he's with Valentine. Question of how long he's with Valentine, who knows? But I have a bad feeling he's going to be doing a lot of stuff he may regret before he's ever escaping from his supposed father. Because I still think they need a DNA test to prove it. Another prediction, Jocelyn is going to reveal some news that could stop Valentine, or it could help them get Jace back, or snap him out of whatever state Valentine has put him in. So hopefully she gets to contribute after all the trouble they went through to unleash her from her coma. Aside from the fact that she's Clary's mom, but like they sacrificed quite a bit to get her awake. And also we'll see things between Magnus and Alec going further. Hopefully we'll see them actually dive in and see what it is that they have between each other. And that's about it. So what did you guys think of the season finale? What did you like? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. Also, if you want to check out my Tumblr page for this episode specifically, I have a link for that down below, as well as for all the Shadowhunter related tags I have. I have a master page for that one, and you just scroll to the very bottom for that one. And basically on Tumblr, you can check out promos, sneak peeks, web clips, GIFs, quotes, anything like that. It can help you tide you over until the season 2 comes. So that'd be great as well. Also, I'm working on my own website where you can find everything easier. So be on the lookout for that in case you are following any of my other videos like that. It should be... I'm waiting for it to be evaluated because it was meant for my final exam, as you can say, for my online course. So after I get my grade for that, I'm definitely going to finish editing it up for you guys, and then it'd be good to go. But be on the lookout for that, and that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Also, I hope you come back when season 2 comes and see what I have to say about the episode. But until then, this is Mel wishing you a great day, great week, great few months, I guess I should say, and hope you check out my other videos until season 2 comes back. So until then, this is Mel wishing you all a happy day. Bye.